and Trudell will be handling the post game. The Lakers are 1 win away from the Larry O'Brien Trophy, winning their 17th championship. It'd be the first one in 10 years. They win the pivotal Game 4. They take control of the series. They go up 3-1, James.
Yeah, this was a typical Game 4. You know, Game 1, you kind of fill each other out. Game 2, you make some adjustments. Game 3, Miami comes in, you know, with a lot of effort, beat the Lakers. And then Game 4, it's all about, you know, will and determination. I thought Miami played a really good game with Bam coming back. They stayed close. And, you know, I thought the Lakers played really hard defense. I thought key guys were Rondo, getting some extra possessions when they needed an extra rebound. I thought post play from the beginning. He was very aggressive from the outside, then hitting those big layups at the end. I just thought collectively the Lakers did what they had to do. They stayed, you know, tuned and stayed in touch and took care of business, you know, down the stretch.
You know, it's just a sign of a coach knowing what's at stake. You know, he kept his big dogs in through the whole game. He shortened his rotation. A lot of guys who usually get big minutes didn't get big minutes, and he played. That lets you know he's like going with the guys he has that trust in. And they came out, they played extremely well. You know, the only bad point in this game was LeBron had 6 turnovers. Other than that, they played good defense. They played good offense. They switched. You know, it was a couple of key, little mistakes here and there, but that's going to happen in the process of the game. And you talk it out, and you come back out, and you resolve that issue. But overall, they moved the basketball. They talked. And only issue I have is I want to see more points in the paint. More points in the paint, because you're bigger than this team. Get some points in the paint.
34-32 is pretty low.
Yes.
Points in the paint for this Laker team. But the Lakers get a huge win. We're going to have this post-game show going for 90 minutes. You will hear from everyone. Right now, we're going back to Orlando. KCP talking with Mike Trudell.
Okay, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, man, what's it like to come through for your team? 2 huge buckets down the stretch of a finals game like this.
Man, I felt good. I knew they was trying to close out on my 3 points all night, so just utilizing my pump fake and then trying to get to the basket or even make a play was open tonight.
That transition 3 that you took is something that we've seen from you all season long, last season as well. It's kind of one of your main things in your bag. How about to do it, though, in that kind of a moment? How do you ignore the pressure of the situation up to, right, Miami trying to come back and take the lead? How do you wash all that out and just take that shot?
Just stay within the game. You know, stay within the game floor. Don't let my last shot that I missed, don't let that dictate my next shot. So I mean, I lean on that a lot, and I just go with it. You know, stay with my rhythm, my flow, and just continue to shoot the ball. I know I'm a shooter, and my teammates looking for me to shoot, so I'm gonna continue to shoot.
Kentavious, you guys made enough plays down the stretch to get it, but could it be said that you won this game with defense, especially in the second half? Seemed really aggressive, making Miami take some tough shots.
Yeah, defense won the game tonight. We wasn't really scoring the ball that much, but we
to get to, guys. So let's dive right in as we begin with taking a look at the numbers for the Lake Show after games 1 and 2 versus that of game 3. Just about every category uncharacteristic for the purple and gold, from scoring to assisting, and of course, one thing for sure, the Lakers need to do a better job holding on to the basketball, something LeBron knows all too well.
Turnovers really killed us. We understand that we can't turn the ball over versus this team. And we also had some breakdowns defensively throughout the course of the game that we're not accustomed to having. So those will be cleaned up in Game 4.
I mean, you can't really tell if someone's communicating on film, but you can tell, if you kind of get what I mean. And you can tell we wasn't. We were off in our coverages. They were setting screens and slipping to the rim, without no one's guarding them. We're over-helping. We're having blown coverages. And so there are a lot of space on the floor for, guys to drive to the basket with no resistance, no help. Guys were hugged up on their man. So, you can tell that we weren't ourselves defensively. We have to be a lot better. We can't allow easy points. I mean, the game is already hard enough. Teams are going to make tough shots, but we can't allow them to get easy looks at the rim when no one's guarding them or not helping our guys. If a small is on Jimmy or a big is on a guard and knowing that chances are pretty high that they're going to blow by them. You know, we have to protect each other. We have to help each other, and that wasn't the case last night, and a big reason why we lost.
Ball security, 20 turnovers for the Lakers in Game 3. Guys, they had 10 in just the first quarter alone. We know when it comes to the success of this team, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, it starts and ends with them. They need to be better. Good thing is they know they need to be better.
Absolutely. And, you know, they're capable of making an adjustment, and I know they will based on their past history. But turnovers, especially that early in the game, all it does is it gives the opponents a lot of juice and a lot of momentum because they're getting steals, they're getting easy buckets, and, you know, it was a must game for them. So for the Lakers to start like that, you know, that really was the first mistake that they gave Miami all that, like their free opportunities, and that kind of set the tone. So they got to take care of that tonight, and that'll be a big start if they can just take care of the basketball.
Yeah, you want turnovers because turnovers leads to easy buckets, and easy buckets means that they're not getting any resistance to their scoring, and you want a little bit of resistance. You want to contest shots. You want to have a path that they can't get to. And if you really think about the way the Lakers played compared to the way Miami played with desperation. They played like a team that was scared of getting swept. You didn't want to be that team that goes to the NBA Finals and gets swept. Yeah, that's a blackout on your team and on your career. So they played with a sense of urgency that the Lakers did not play with, and basically they were scared of losing. So they played like they were scared, and they showed you what you do when you're scared.
Instead of just winning the game. No. There is a silver lining here, though. In the postseason, when the Lakers have lost, they've always followed it up with a win, and that margin of victory has been about over 12 points in those games. We expect that, correct, from them tonight here, Game 4?
Yes, especially AD in particular, having a subpar game, you know, 15-5 rebounds. He knows that he was brought here to win a championship. They're right there. You know, they can see the finish line. You know, don't start trotting. Just because you got a big lead and you're going toward the finish line, go ahead and finish strong. And I think he knows that's what he has to do. Especially, I know he and LeBron probably had a glass of wine and talked about how they were going to approach this game.
You know, since it's football season, it reminds me of some rookie fresh off the NFL. You about to cross that goal line and you slow down. Next thing you know, that vet comes by and takes it and negates that touchdown. And that's what, you know, for someone like, you look at AD, that's what he reminds me of, a rookie in the NBA Finals. He came out, you know, relaxed and, oh, we got this. We just beat them 2 games in a row, and we beat them handily in second game, even though the score didn't show that, but they kind of put it on them. He came out there like, okay, we got this. I'm AD, nobody can guard me. And that showed because he got in foul trouble. He had silly turnovers, you know, bounce the ball out of bounds, throw it to nobody over there. So, you know, now that he's been smacked in the face and he realized, hey, this Miami Heat team can play, so I expect him to have a better game.
I know there's a lot of pressure or eyes, if you will, on Anthony Davis, given that Game 3 performance. But as great as LeBron's numbers were, if you will, minus the turnovers in Game 3, do you expect a kind of different attitude, mindset, just kind of overall look from him naturally out of the gate?
Oh, of course. You know, just from the look he gave Jimmy Butler walking off the floor, I know he's going to come with it tonight. And this is one of those games. This is a statement game because now everybody's talking about how Jimmy Butler outplayed him, how he's not going to get MVP of the series, going to go to AD. And it's one of those things when you know, I said this a couple of shows ago, you know, I'm talking about poke the bear. And LeBron's that bear. You don't want to poke LeBron.
That was the bear.
Yeah, this case, LeBron is bear. You know, and now you done poked him. The world is poking him. And so, if there's a true sign of greatness in this guy. When great athletes from Michael Jordan, Kobe, Shaq, all these guys get poked, they rise to the occasion. I think you're going to see probably the best game in the playoffs come tonight.
Well, there is some news that we got to get to, I think, on the Heat side of things, because they've dealt with some injuries. But how about this? The injury update coming directly from the Miami Heat. Bam Adebayo, next train, will play in tonight's NBA Finals Game 4 versus the Lakers. Goran Dragic, foot. He has officially been ruled out, guys. That was a legit minute-by-minute moment for Goran. So he is out, but Bam is back in. How does that change the way, James, that the Heat play? Because I actually thought Kelly Olynyk was great from them in the opportunities he was able to space the floor. But Bam brings, of course, another aggressiveness.
You know, it depends on you know, if he's 100%, if he's 75%, or, you know, if he's able to do what he does all season long. Personally, having missed a couple games and the chemistry they already have, I like, just like you said, what Olynyk has been doing and the way they created this little chemistry. You know, I don't know if he's going to start or whether he's going to come off the bench, but I like what they had already. But he can only bring another big, you know, more rebounding, more defense, to go up against, you know, Dwight Howard and AD. So having him back is, you know, it's an asset.
You know, for me, there are certain players in this league, when they go against certain teams, they're bugaboos. They're just going to bug you to death. And Olynyk is a bugaboo for the Lakers. Think about this. Like,
I think he's been like that for a lot of teams.
Yeah, and you don't plan for him. I guarantee you, if you look at the play, if they have any game plan for him, there's no game plan for him. Oh, he's a shooter, you know, do this. But Olynyk showed he's an NBA player, and that's what you got to respect, because when you're on this stage, you're in NBA Finals, you have a certain energy and a certain effort that you come out there. He came out there with something to prove, and he's stretching the floor. He's knocking down threes. And the Lakers was looking like, oh, he can shoot threes. It's almost like they were surprised, but this is his resume. This is what he does. He's a stretch 4, stretch 5, whatever he may be. And he came out on fire, and he's been a thorn in the Lakers side, for the last 2 games. So you have to put your eye on that guy and make sure that, you know, he don't let him get off tonight.
Yeah, I like the chemistry they have. You want to bring Bam off the bench, I'm okay with that. But like you said, Rob, you know, he's been proving it. He's playing better than Bam, actually.
Yes.
In the last game.
Yep, so Bam is back, Goran is not. He will be out for Game 4. Let's get you live to the Lakers reporter Mike Trudell, who is joining us right down the hall, getting you ready for Game 4. Hello, Mike.
Hey guys, what's happening? So all of the talk about Bam Adebayo, I actually would be surprised if he doesn't start, just given what he does on both ends, especially the defensive end for Miami. But I was curious with Frank Vogel, the way that the Lakers approach things defensively, right? They can cover things all over the court. They can go big, they can go small, they can switch, they can trap. We've seen all of that in the playoffs, but I did want to ask him specifically about the difference between Bam Adebayo, who of course is going to be more of a screen roller to the rim, versus the Olynyk or Myers-Leonard matchup when those guys have been popping. So here's what Frank Vogel had to say a couple moments ago.
It's a very different attack, but you know, obviously Bam's one of the best players in the world, and you know what he brings to the team.